Hey everyone, we have invited Louis from StarkWare to ask him the most interesting questions regarding StarkNet ecosystem, and it is the first time the StarkNet representative appears in Eastern community. So let's welcome Louis. Hello Louis, nice to meet you.
Hi Anton, nice to meet you too.
How are you?
Doing well, doing a tiring day, but doing well. What about you?
I'm great. Let's start with introduction maybe. We have been following StarkWare since the end of the last year, and we are pleased to finally get the opportunity to talk with you personally. And I think it will be the first experience for representatives of crypto communities of Ukraine, Eastern Europe, and CIS countries. Thank you for visiting us. We are glad to see you here.
My pleasure. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you. Let's start with a common question that you probably answered 1,000 of times already, but definitely not for our viewers. How did you get in crypto and why you decided to build StarkNet?
Awesome. Thank you very much for the question. So I'm Louis. I'm the ecosystem lead at StarkWare. So I've been in crypto for 6 years, been at StarkWare for over 3 years. So StarkWare is a company that focuses on building what we call zero-knowledge proof, which are a very advanced technique of math to mostly compress computation. And so one of the most important application of those is for blockchains, because blockchain are environment where computation is very expensive. So if you can compress computation, you can make it a lot cheaper for people to use and for people to make more things and more interesting use cases of blockchains. And so StarkWare have been around for over almost 5 years at this point. Oh no, almost 5 years at this point. And
you have some teammates from zk even,
so yeah, I was about to come to that. So StarkWare was founded by 4 people, which are Eli Ben Sasson, Michael Rabiev, Uri Colonni, and Alessandro Chiesa. And so Alessandro and Eli were helping back in 2018 the Zcash team, because they wrote the paper that was used to develop the technology underlying Zcash. So they didn't stay at Zcash very long. They just went to help on the tech side, on the scientific side, and then they went back to their studies. So Alessandro went back to Berkeley, and now he actually moved to Switzerland, to Polytechnique of Lausanne, I believe. And Eli continues research about zero-knowledge proofs, and which led to the creation of StarkEx, the Stark paper in 2018.
And so Snarks to Starks.
Yes, he went on Stark. He invented the Stark used on Zcash to Stark that invented Stark, that the one the StarkWare is using. And so we were focusing on bringing scale and scalability to Ethereum. And we started with StarkEx, which was like a SaaS platform used by people like DYDX, Soer, and Immutable, and more, and Rhinophi. And we decided to make something that is more accessible, easier for devs to develop on, which is permissionless, called StarkNet. So StarkNet is a layer 2 on top of Ethereum, and it's basically another blockchain that people can develop on top, which is secured by Ethereum itself.
Awesome. Thanks for your answer. That's great. Let's move forward. The next question is, how do you manage to organize such a large amount of work on StarkNet? And what is the secret of such successful management and productivity? Because it's a great work.
Thank you. So, could you specify, are you talking on the technical aspect or on build, on teaching how people can use the tech?
I mean communication with the team and building all that process, because my team is like a little bit more than 40 people, and it's quite difficult to manage all the stuff and to control everything.
I imagine. Okay, so so that's a very good question. So StarkWare is 100 people now.
100?
100 people now at StarkWare. And it is, so first of all, one thing with StarkWare that until very recently was a very in-person company. So we only hire people locally, and all the engineering happens in Israel, and all of that in the same office and so on. The thing is, the truth is that the beauty of working at StarkWare is that the people working there are just really brilliant, and so I don't really. I mean, there is a lot of management obviously going on, and like a lot of like very strong, hierarchy, like people, sort of like the hierarchical level and stuff. But the truth is, it's actually going.
People works in office or remotely?
Yeah, in office.
In office, okay.
Only almost everyone in the office until 6 months ago. Everyone was in the office, and now
obligatory.
Sorry,
it's obligatory to be in office.
No, I mean, it used. It's just that we are all the engineering is have to spend 3 days a week at the office. At least. Nice. And so only 6 months ago we started to hire abroad, but only in my team, only in the ecosystem team, because that's a team that needs to educate and that needs to spread the word worldwide. So we have now people in France, in the US, in Canada, in Australia, and also people in Switzerland and someone in China too. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's hard. The remote makes it harder to manage, and that's why you need very autonomous people. But otherwise, most of the work at StarkWare is done in person, in the office.
Great. Do you have some open vacancies now or something?
Sorry?
Do you have some open vacancies now, or do you?
So yes, so we are hiring still dev advocates. Dev advocacy is basically teaching and creating content and tutorials,
especially for K
for devs. Only for devs. It's only for devs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a dev role, but like someone who likes to teach. And in Israel, we hire like all type of engineering, like cryptography, backends, front end, full stack, whatever, you name it, we probably have it, and DevOps and so on. But it's only in the office in Israel.
Okay, great. Thank you for answer. You have recently had a big meetup in Seoul. How was it? Yeah. Which are the most active regions with developers on StarkNet?
That's a very good question. So the meetup went well. It was organized by a company called Rollups that managed to really pull a great event in Seoul. So now the question is, where do we have the most active devs on StarkNet? So it is mostly in Western Europe and specifically in France. The reason is because I'm French. And so a lot of
and your community also is
exactly
French.
No, I mean exactly. My friends are French. Everyone I know is French, and so so we have like a very active community in France, quite active all over Western Europe. A lot of dev in Argentina, in Turkey, and in Australia. And when it comes to Russia, Ukraine, and all the Eastern Europe, we're not so present yet. That's something I really want to address, because those regions have fantastic builders, and I want to educate about what Cairo does and what it can enable you as a dev. And so right now, that's actually one of my focus, is actually getting more
from
Eastern Europe
countries. Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Exactly. To start have a look at what's going on StarkNet, start play with the tech, and being able to create the next big company, basically. And what's a very interesting thing about StarkNet right now is that all the builders that here, so we don't do grants. We don't have like a big grant program, and I don't know we don't have like, oh, I want this, that, and that. So all the people who are building on StarkNet right now are just like curious individuals interested by the tech, and I'm trying to help them a lot by
creating some good, funny stuff, and you help them.
Exactly, cool, fun stuff. Cool, fun stuff. If the dumbest, the better, because from the dumbest idea you create, that's where the best thing comes out. And
we saw Doji and Shiba Coin,
right,
top 20 coin market cap.
No, I meant it differently. Like, do you know the story behind eBay? The founder
eBay?
of eBay, yeah, the app, the website. eBay was founded because the founder wanted he wanted his wife to sell some stuff, like I think it was like a collection of ugly dolls that she had. And and the same for Craigslist, which is like what is massive website for classified ads.
Memes rule the crypto.
Exactly.
Like
exactly. Yeah.
At the moment, a lot of layer 2 solutions are built on Ethereum. Take at least Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, and even zk-SNARK. And if you look at layer 1s, you can see that the main competitors coexist problem-free. Also, it is worth recognizing that some of the favorites of 2017 or 2018 did not receive enough attention. Recall at least QuarkChain, Hedera, Phantom, and many other blockchains that people have been already forgotten. The main question, do you think that layer 2 on Ethereum will get along with competitors in the face of other layers 2 and existing layer 1s?
That's a very good question. Okay, got it. That's a very good question. So it's hard to say, right? Like the thing is that all the people building on L2s right now are very serious people, extremely serious teams who have been around for a long time.
So there are a lot of VCs, a lot of money,
a lot of projects. But overall, if you look at the team, there are people who have been around for a very, very long time. Like let's take zk-SNARK. I actually know the Alex since 2018. I was working back then with the Ethereum Foundation on a couple of projects related to zk-Rollups. Optimism dates back 2017 with Plasma. Arbitrum comes back to Ed Felton paper 2015. Like all those teams are teams that are extremely serious, and so I don't think it's gonna be a one winner takes all. But I think there would be like massive, like one that will have the most traction. I of course convinced that zk-Rollups are a lot better because of for the technical reason that is surrounding them, which is that they are cheaper, they are more scalable, and they are easier to.
You can do layer for layer.
Exactly, you can do recursive layer. You can even like verify the chain itself on your phone. It makes a lot of things a lot easier, and so I don't really know how this will evolve. I do know that the tech matters, and I do think that we should. I hope we're going to see more projects that are doing things differently than new project building new thing that didn't exist before. They couldn't do it. And so, for instance, StarkNet, what I'm seeing is that a lot of gaming application. So, to give you an example, Brick is this Minecraft-like game where you can make your own sculpture or in what we call voxel art. And so this is something that didn't exist in any other chain today. And today they have like over 100,000 different Brick being built, and people now do Brick NFTs dedicated to this, only doing this, the collection of handmade
funny stuff. Funny stuff, like something like
exactly.
Let's imagine that Ethereum is the main stage, and there are a lot of different layer 1, layer 2 projects, or even layer 0, like Polkadot, and they all competing for the TVL from Ethereum. And the question is, does technology prosper without marketing, or even the most advanced technology should have good marketing?
There is no such thing as good tech without people knowing about it, right? Like I can make this most amazing, piece of software. If no one knows about it, that it's useless. It's not a tool. It's not a tool that anyone knows about. So
I think it's currently the problem of Polkadot.
To be honest, you're right. Actually, you're right. I know Cosmos very well. I mean, I know about them. I have no idea what Polkadot does today.
Yeah.
Like, and I think you're right. I think
but in general, Polkadot and Cosmos are pretty like.
No, I know the concept, right? But I'm saying I have no idea what's going on in Polkadot because I don't get the information to me, and that's where good marketing comes in. And good marketing just make people care. Make people care about what is being done. And this is exactly the reason why, I came to you asking, to talk about, StarkNet and so on, because you need to go and explain what you do to everyone, because that's the only way you can get people to care as a technology provider and to care about what you're building. And so this is why
you have to be on hearing, like everyone talks about you, and it's the best marketing when you move forward and everyone discuss it.
Yeah, exactly. You just need to be out there to talk, to explain, to go after people, to talk to them one by one. And because once you get your champion, once you get this network effect, then you're unstoppable. And so if you ask me, a good tech obviously cannot exist without proper marketing. But the thing that marketing should not be everything neither, because you need a good base. You need something that is easy to sell, right? And so this is kind of what I hope we have at on StarkNet, because we have a very interesting tech, and we're going after trying to bring awareness all the time.
The next question is, could you please explain to our users what is StarkNet, like shortly?
StarkNet is what we call a layer 2. Layer 2 is a blockchain that exists on top of a layer 1. A layer 1 in our context is Ethereum. So StarkNet is another blockchain that lives on top of Ethereum. And so why we want to do this is because Ethereum has its problem. It's very expensive. It's very hard for people to, some things are not possible, some things are hard. And so we are basically being another blockchain that solves those specific issues without changing the base. Because this Ethereum is already so important that you can't just change it easily. So what we did is say,
and you can stop it.
Right, exactly. So let's create something that is technically better, but still take advantage of what we currently have. And so you want both. You want both because one has the community, the culture, the people who care. And the other end, you have this better new tech that comes. And so StarkNet is a layer 2 on top of Ethereum using zero-knowledge proof, so advanced cryptography to make the system better and cheaper. And it provides hopefully 3 things, which is a lot more transaction per second, a lot cheaper transaction on average, and new capacities that are not possible elsewhere.
Great. And who is your closest competitor now?
So that's a very so competition, I guess, would be all the L2s, but not only. I mean, the biggest competitor, I guess, would be is convincing the devs to build on top. And so, who are they comparing us when they talk to me, right? So they're asking me about Solana, they're asking me about Polygon. So those are currently my biggest competition, but I don't see them as competition. I see them as
so you focus on your own development. You're not.
No. I mean, I don't see them as competition in the sense that the word of devs, like the number of existing Web3 devs is very small. I rather create awareness, and all the Web2 dev that wants to do Web3 than try to fight for the same mind share than Polygon and Solana. I'd rather go teach new people and get them to be excited than compare myself to Solana and Polygon.
Okay. So the main point is that you have to be focused on developers because there are very few developers, and you have to create great conditions for them to coexist in your ecosystem. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Great.
They're not competition. They are friends. Just we are after the same resource, which is dev brain power.
Great. So it's like healthy competition, like
yes, it's a healthy competition, exactly.
The next question is: could you please try to explain to our audience what zk proof and zk-Rollup are, and what is the difference between zk-STARK and zk-SNARK proofs in L5 format? Explain.
Sure. Okay. 5. Okay. So what are zk-Rollup? So zk-Rollup are zk-Rollup, as I said, are layer 2s on top of Ethereum. So they are layer 2, which are secured by cryptography. And this cryptography is called zero knowledge proofs. So zero knowledge proof is this amazing concept that enables me to prove to you that I did something without revealing it. So let's say I have this very big computation. Let's say I have 10,000 transactions. I can compress them for you to verify their validity in a millisecond, extremely fast. It took me a month to do. It takes you a millisecond to verify.
So you're like producer and I'm verifier.
Exactly. I'm a producer of proof and you are a verifier of proof. And so for you to verify is very, very easy. And so by being secure by those cryptography, it means that you can no longer lie to the network, to L1. So for instance, if I'm depositing ETH from Ethereum to, let's say, StarkNet, then I cannot create fake money. In some sense, L2s are very, it's like they are just extension of Ethereum, because they don't change the way the trust exists in the system. So to summarize, zk-Rollups are new blockchain secured by cryptography that lives on top of Ethereum, and they are the way forward for Ethereum to scale, according to everyone, including Vitalik.
Great answer. Thank you. And what strong side features of zk-Rollups, for example, if compared to Optimistic-Rollups?
So zk-Rollups are cheaper. Much cheaper, and more,
because of comprising a lot of transactions in a single batch.
They're much cheaper in the long run, and they are more scalable because they have this notion of like challenges, and so you don't have this notion of like, if something is wrong, I need to do something. So for instance, withdrawing my money instead of a week is instant. I don't have to wait. I have to wait 1 hour for the proof to be generated, but I don't really have to wait. When on Optimistic-Rollup, you need to wait for a week. And so for instance, so you for ERC20s, it's okay because you can always find someone to bridge for you and you get the money later and so on. But for NFTs, for instance, you can't have these sort of bridges. So you have to actually wait a week on Optimistic-Rollup when you have no wait on the zk-Rollup.
There is no way to use home exchange. Yes.
now exactly. And so now the drawback of zk-Rollup is that usually, in most cases, all production ready system right now requires you to learn a new language. And this is my struggle, or my job is to tell people learning this language called Cairo is not hard. It's not hard to learn Cairo. And so we already have like a lot of company creating on top of StarkNet, raising a lot of money from very important and successful VCs worldwide, because they are building on StarkNet.
That's why, because you have great reputation, you know.
We are reputed. Thank you. No, the reputation. I guess the thing with StarkWare is that when we say something, it happens. We don't make announcement of announcement. We announce when it's done. And so it's very important for us to be like, very straight about principle, very principled.
What is the peculiarity of Stark Validity Rollups?
The peculiarity of Validity Rollup, so of StarkNet as Validity Rollup. So as opposed to the rest of the people building zk-Rollups, we decided to not use any EVM code. We didn't want people we wanted to make something super optimized for the system we work in, which is zkPs. And so we had to create our own language, because you have to understand something when it comes to zk-Rollups. zk-Rollups do not work like your computer, like your regular computer. So it's not like a CPU. So for instance, when you make a computation in a zk program, it's very, very different than doing a computation in your CPU. And so to give you an example, if you're familiar with a bit of computer science, your computer works with bits and bytes. zk-Rollup or zkPs work with what we call field elements. So field elements are like sort of like very large numbers. And so you on a zk-Rollup, on a zk-P, you get division and multiplication for free, like very cheap computation. When on a computer, those computation can be expensive in terms of computing time. And so we had to create a language that optimizes for those peculiarities, for the specificities of the underlying technology. So this is why we created Cairo. And so,
but all the competition is off chain.
No, all the computation is off chain, of course, but you still need to prove it. And so, if you prove over something that is not friendly, it will take you a lot of time, which makes it not practical.
Solidity is not friendly for.
It's not friendly for these technologies. Yes. So that's why people are trying to make systems that are working despite not being friendly, such as Scroll or Hermes by my friends. But we decided to take another path to say we optimize for performance, and we're gonna add maybe later compatibility with Solidity. And so this compatibility is called work.
And for example, if I have some project on layer 1 on Ethereum and I want to use StarkEx to optimize it, and it's built via using Solidity, what's the best way for me to start using StarkNet?
So the best way as a dev is to learn Cairo. So we have a couple of tutorials made by StarkNet Edu. So if you go to GitHub StarkNet Edu, you will find all the tutorials, how to write a contract, how to write the ERC20, ERC721, and so on. The second thing is to also try the one by OnlyDust. OnlyDust is a partner that has classes about Cairo, and notably one online called StarkLink. And otherwise, you can also go to the Discord and ask questions. We have a very active Discord, a lot of dev talking and asking questions. And if you are, ask good questions, you can also just, come to me on Twitter or in my Discord and ask me questions directly. I'd be happy to help.
Okay, and if, for example, I'm the dev coding on Solidity, if I know Solidity, is it easier to learn Cairo for me? Is there similar?
It is not complete. I mean, it is similar because it's a smart contract language, but it's still a new language. So it's very similar because logically you understand how a smart contract works. You know what you want to do, so it will make things a lot easier. But it's still very different than Solidity. So if you're a good dev, you will have no problem picking it up. That's my
okay.
It's different.
Okay, and if I'm a developer on Web 2 and I'm decided to go to code on Cairo, what's the road? What's the flow? Which steps?
So I would say you read the documentation, you do the tutorials, you try to create like a front end where you can mint an ERC20 or ERC721. And
NFT,
you explore the space, an NFT, and you explore the space. You try to make cool, funny projects just because they're cool and funny, and you see where it goes from there. So I've seen like
just to start doing something, like
exactly,
just start to explore.
Just do something.
And she was head of Nike.
Just do it. Exactly. Yeah. No, 100%. The only way in life you can learn stuff is by doing it, and so. The same way for Web3. If you don't experiment, you won't understand. And so you need to try things out.
Okay. And is there some public, maybe libraries or instructions? Plenty. There are already
plenty. There is library. We are working with OpenZeppelin. We have a lot of content out there. I think at the moment right now, after 9 months, we have over 1,000 devs working on a weekly basis in Cairo. So
great.
And this community is expanding. It's super collaborative. If you want to do gaming, you can talk to Matchbox, and we'll help you. If you want to do like DeFi stuff, you can reach out to me. If you want to do infrastructure, you can talk to Nethermind. There is a lot of people out there working on StarkNet that we're more than happy to help you get involved and get going.
So you're really interested in new projects to launch on your blockchain.
Yes.
And it's the main point, because I personally know a lot of blockchains. I will not name them now. But they just they don't fight for the projects to launch on them. They even they don't try to communicate with them, to speak with them, to give them grants, and that's why they lose this competition, I think. Because
I mean, the question here is, what's important to me is like be human, like meaning like, if you have something you care about, come to me. Literally, my Twitter, my DMs are open. You come to me, you send me a message. I'll be more than happy to spend 15 minutes talking to you about the ecosystem, explaining to you what you can do, and helping you like find the right people you can work with and be active. Like it's extremely important to spend the time, spend the energy to learn. And if you want to basically do anything in crypto, by the way, this is not only for StarkNet, it's true for anything. Just do it. Just do something.
Yeah. Okay.
And tweet.
You
you need to tweet about it and tweet about it. Twitter is important in crypto. You need to tweet about stuff.
And to check, to handle the ecosystem you built in. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
The next question is, what is StarkEx? StarkEx, because we discussed it already, also in small, in L5.
Sure. So StarkEx is a SaaS platform. It's a software as a service that is used by. It's a software as a service for to enable companies like Immutable, Sorare, DYDX to launch their dedicated application that can scale extremely well. So, for instance, DYDX built like a perpetual contract on top of StarkEx, and Sorare launched their very successful football game that using StarkEx. And so StarkEx, as for a company, enables you to do 100, 200, 500 TPS and provide a Web 2-like experience to users while remaining trustless, secure, self-custodial, and so on and so forth. So it's a SaaS platform that if you want to work with on it, you need to have a contract with us, as opposed to StarkNet, which is like an open source, accessible to anyone platform.
So any project, any dev can come to you, sign the contract with you, and use StarkEx.
They need to be the thing that you need to be. StarkEx requires like a bit of work, because you need to have like a backend team, a DevOps team. You need to understand very deeply how this API works. It's not a trivial choice. If you really want to do something fast and fun and potentially build something that we don't have any backend, you should work on StarkNet. If you want to, let's say
it's like solution. It's solution for existing project.
Exactly. It's like if you are Disney, and Disney will not fit on Polygon. Disney will not fit on any chain, because it's Disney. They're big. They have a lot of people and a lot of people who care. And so Disney would be very smart to use an app dedicated rollup. Mm-hmm. And StarkEx could be a right solution for them. I don't know. I'm not chatting with them. I'm just saying, I'll give you an example of like a good company.
Great. And for the end user, it looks like you create a key, sign the transaction, and then, for example, deposit money to DYDX. Let's discuss DYDX. And all the actions you perform inside the DYDX, they are on StarkEx. And if you want to withdraw, it's only the proof. You require the proof from Star. I try to explain in a very simple way.
Exactly, it's exactly that. Yeah, and thank you for simplifying my my very nerdy talk. I'm a nerd, so but yes. So completely, it's exactly that.
Thank you. Okay, the next question is, how far can StarkNet scaling go about layer 3?
So we think StarkNet will have roughly 100 TPS by within a couple of months, maybe by December this year. And after that, we're also working with what we call layer 3s and layer 4s and so on and so forth, because basically the cool thing about this technology that enables you to have to make a layer that live on top of on the L2. For instance, L2s are layer who live on top of L1. L3s are layer that live on top of L2s. And so you can make, with StarkNet, you can make a StarkNet over StarkNet. You can have like what we call recursiveness.
It's like modularity, as I understand.
Modularity. You can think about it like at Polkadot-chain, but like completely secure by the cryptography. There is no ability for me to lie, or not lie, but to hack the bridge. in some sense. If there is there is no way for me to, there is no security that is dependent on the on a group of validators. I am just dependent on the cryptography to work. And so that enables us to scale and to make, for instance, what we call app-specific chains. So for instance, Immutable should at some point turn into an L3 on top of StarkNet. DYDX, if they didn't move to Cosmos, would probably be an L3 on top of StarkNet. Sorare would be an L3 on top of StarkNet.
I saw the picture, like layer 1 Ethereum, layer 2 public StarkNet, layer 3 StarkEx, Rollup, StarkEx Validium, app-specific StarkNet, privacy StarkNet, and layer 4 is privacy StarkNet. So it's possible to cover all these layers with additional layer of privacy, or how to explain?
So you could have a privacy layer on top of an L3, yes. So StarkNet by itself is not private, but you could imagine having a private layer on top of an L3, like if you want like a Zcash on top of StarkNet. You could have I guess you could imagine a Tornado Cash running as an L3 also. A lot of pay my respect to Alexei, who's
in jail now.
He's in jail for.
But it's crazy stuff because he's in jail because of his code for nothing. Yeah.
For now, he's in jail for. He has no charge against him, and so yeah, thoughts with him for him, and I hope he's gonna get out of jail soon.
How do you intend to carry out transaction of application on layer 3? How this application will interact with other application within the network?
So that's a very good question, because you ask the question of what it means to be an asynchronous system. Usually when you think about dApps, they have composability, meaning they can talk to each other very easily. Yep. L3 breaks that model and now brings the notion of asynchronicity. The thing that going back to L1 would be to L2 would be very cheap on L3, because the proof would be cheap to verify, because L2 is already cheap, right? And so you will be able to provide proof fast, and then you will be able to continue your journey into your application. Actually, there are companies, I can name one that I'm very friend with, called Socket, that enables you to, even today, to use your money from Polygon to buy something on Avalanche in one single transaction.
I've never heard about them.
Socket.tech. They are a company founded by a guy called Vehab Shilani. Is one of the first engineer at Polygon, and worked with the Ethereum Foundation and so on. And now is building this company, which I like very much, that enables you to do cross-layer execution.
Interesting. Yeah. I will check it after the interview.
Please do. He's a good friend of mine. I really like what he's building, and I hope he's actually going to be on StarkNet soon. I keep bugging him when StarkNet, sir, and his answer later.
Later.
The next question also about bridging. What is the simplest and the most secure way for the user to bring and own liquidity to StarkNet?
So you can use the StarkGate. So we have an official bridge called the StarkGate, and you can also use Arbiter or Layer Swap. They're all great, and they will
Arbiter and
Layer Swap. Layer Swap enables you to bridge from an exchange. Arbiter enables you to bridge from Polygon and others.
Okay, and the native bridge that we have discussed with you is not launched yet.
StarkGate is available. It's the StarkGate, not the StarkGate. It's different.
Okay, StarkGate and StarkGate is different.
StarkGate is a different thing. StarkGate is a project built by I don't remember who, with API, with a token, and so on. The StarkGate is the name of our bridge.
Yes, okay, it's like
Stark. Yeah, I know. Okay. Everything is Stark with StarkNet. Yes, it's
the most secure way to bring liquidity.
The most secure way
is to use StarkGate.
The StarkGate.
It's your native bridge. Okay.
Exactly.
By your team.
Yes, StarkGate.
We have already discussed a new programming language, Cairo, which allows any coder to write a program and generate a zk-SNARK proof for it without having to know about zk proofs and mathematics at all. But simultaneously, you are working on the warp compiler so that programmers can work in a familiar environment without having to learn a new language. Can we talk about warp?
Happy to. I'm more than happy to. So warp is what we call EVM compatibility. Meaning it enables, there was this discussion recently about EVM compatibility versus EVM equivalence. So warp is the StarkNet approach to EVM compatibility. Meaning you could potentially write code in Solidity and compile it to Cairo quite easily with warp. But the performance would be not as good as if you were to write in Cairo directly. So it's a great tool to learn. It's a great tool to start picking up the language, see how it looks like, what it does, and it's a great tool overall. But if you want performance, you probably want to write things in Cairo directly. And so warp is developed by Nevermind, and they are doing an amazing job at improving the performance continuously. So maybe one day, you could write completely Cairo using Solidity using. For now, we still advise you to run Cairo on top to create cool and useful application.
What is the market fit of warp compiler? Because as we discussed already, if you have something like Immutable X, you can use StarkEx, but it is better to use Cairo and to build the project on StarkNet because Solidity is not friendly for Cairo. For StarkNet.
So what the market fit is it's a tool for people who come from Solidity to learn more easily, mostly at this point. Maybe tomorrow it's going to be production ready. Today it's not completely, but it's a great tool to learn and to see the differences when you're writing versus one versus the other. So you can see, I'm working this. Oh, you see, it's much slower for X, Y, Z. So I would argue, the market fit it's an education tool at this point, and also something that can be used for applications that have already a very large code base in Solidity, like let's say 1inch or Paraswap, because they need one single interface for every chain they go to. And so that could be a good use case for those in 1inch and Paraswap. It's really useful for people who have a very large existing code base that they cannot change.
Okay. And here is the question: why didn't you focus on simplifying Cairo or full EVM compatibility? Hence, took both ways simultaneously.
So that's the thing. Warp is not done by StarkWare. It's an external team building it. It's Nevermind. They are doing it because they offered us to do it. We're like, it's awesome.
So you focused on Cairo, but someone come and told you that we can help you with event compatibility, and you're do it.
Yeah, go for it. Exactly.
Cool stuff.
What happened. Good stuff. Exactly. Nevermind is a very close team from StarkWare. We are working with them on a lot of stuff, and so when they offered that, we were like, oh, that's awesome. Let's do it. And so, by the way, Cairo is going to have a full revamp by end of year, by December, called Cairo 1, which we improve the language dramatically.
Great. Thank you. Awesome. The next question is, how fast programmers can master Cairo language in general?
Honestly,
it depends.
It depends, but I would say a good dev can take 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's like it's a programming language. Like I have like plenty of dev who after 2 weeks they were like, okay, then I'm proficient now. But also it's important to understand something, which is StarkNet is an early ecosystem. It's very young. There is very few people, and so even if you're not very good, no one is good. There's no such thing as a 10 years old.
You don't know how to understand the level, like who's good.
Exactly. Well, everyone suck, even the great one.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is that you're gonna grow your knowledge with the rest of the community. So by the time Cairo become everywhere, you would be great because you just have been there in the right place at the right time. And so also that something that is very important about Cairo is that the community right now, the developer community in StarkNet is super friendly, super collaborative, super helping, more than happy to work with one another all the time. And they have been extremely successful, both in starting companies, in collaboration, and a lot of companies are spinning out right now at a crazy rate because of how friendly and easy it is to start working in the community.
Awesome. How much StarkNet is ready to be actively used by apps and users?
That's a very good question. So we are right now. It's the network is a bit slow. Let's be honest, it's very slow. But we are getting. We're gonna get soon to. Right now we have like maybe 2 TPS, which is ridiculous. Let's be very clear. But
2K?
we are 2 TPS.
Okay.
It's really bad. It's really bad. We know. I know. I'm not trying to hide.
Development. It's okay.
It's under development, exactly. But we have 2 major upgrades that are coming. We're going to replace our own VM by a Rust implementation, which should be 20 times faster. And we're going to have parallelization, optimistic parallelization coming, which provide also hopefully 5 to 10x improvement. So we should get in December by 100 TPS easily, and maybe more. I'm just waiting now for more performance to come.
Nice. And as I read, the main point for StarkNet is to become 2x faster than Ethereum and to be 2x slower than cheaper.
We want to be. We actually are much more ambitious than that. We want to be 10x more TPS.
10x more, okay.
And for 50x cheaper.
That's great target.
50 times cheaper and 10x more performance.
Nice.
That's the goal.
Crazy.
I mean,
okay.
I think we actually. I mean, we're gonna get there. Just I don't know exactly when, but we're gonna get there. I mean, the when I think like all of those are things that we know how to do. Actually, it's not impossible. We know how to do. They just need to be made happen. Like to write the code, to test it, to make it work. But it's not like research. We know how to do it. It's just
step by step.
Step by step. It takes time.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can there be any conflicts between applications that are written in pure Cairo with other applications that were created via Solidity? But
no, they can interface. They can interface because basically Warp just converted Solidity into Cairo, so they can interface. It's just like a translator.
Okay.
It's a translator from language A to language B. So they talk.
Yeah.
They can talk. But I really, like I said, Warp is not really used in practice. And I wouldn't invite people to say, oh, you don't worry, you use Warp, you'll be safe. It's not true.
Great. And when do you plan to launch StarkNet at its full capacity?
We are going to go...
Maybe approximate date?
No, Q1. We are talking... So we're going to have what we call the regenesis. Happening in January in Q1 2023, so January to March 2023, and also around March 2023, we expect to start decentralization, meaning having people being able to run nodes and participate in the network and so on and so forth. So regenesis, Jan 2023 or maybe after, and beginning decentralization by March to April of 2023.
Great. I had one great question in my head. Okay, and as we talked about nodes, how is it possible to become your validator for ordinary people? Can I run the node?
So you can run a full node today, but it's pointless. It's not very useful. It's just for you to have a node. The same way you can download what we call a client called PyFinder. And you can run it, and you have a node locally. Now it's not very useful. It's not.
I mean in mainnet. What's the steps to become your validator?
You can today. You can have a full node today on mainnet. It's called Pathfinder. The problem is that it doesn't participate it doesn't participate in the security of the network today. So we need to add a couple of things, what we call like peer-to-peer networking, which we don't have today. And when that is happening, we will have a lot more virtual system. So this should happen by January also, like Jan to by March. All of that nodes opens, being able to run things locally and so on will be available, and you can already run Pathfinder today on your machine.
But if I want to become validator, I mean to participate in StarkNet security.
No. So StarkNet will have a token, and you will need to stake. And so
Okay.
you can either do self-host your staking, like people trying to do on Ethereum, or you can use like a provider, like Lido or something that would be compatible with StarkEx.
Liquid staking.
Liquid staking kind of things. It really depends on what you want to do, but you will be able to run once the token is out, and you will be able to stake that and provide security to the network.
So everyone can do it. Okay.
Anyone can do
it.
Because
If you speak, for example, if you take a look at Solana, you have to wait a big lane to become a validator.
No, not here.
Okay.
No, anyone can become.
Nice.
Anyone can become a validator. I mean,
most
likely they're going to be huge staking companies like like Lido or others.
Is there already some documentation about tokens?
We are still working on it, so it's really. I'm not even sure we know how to do it. What we exactly going to have today. so
okay.
We are not there yet. We are working.
You have to play different scenarios and to make a lot of tests to make it properly. Yeah,
exactly. We need to make it work, and for now we are not there yet. But it's coming. Okay. It's coming slowly but slowly.
And what are you focused on at this point of time, on increasing functionality or increasing transaction speed?
Performance. We need to improve performance. The only thing I care about right now is performance. So the cool thing, what's great about StarkNet is that a lot of people are building new functionalities. For instance, there is a company called Cartridge who made the first transaction that you can sign with your iPhone, like with your Face ID. So and because of what we call account abstraction. So you don't have to have a private key to have an account in some sort. And so that's something they've been working on. And so all those kind of like very infrastructure core things now are building either by companies or infrastructure team we work with. We basically don't a lot of things that we are not doing anymore. What we focus on right now is performance, improvement of performance, and improvement of performance of performance. We really need to improve performance. And so that's really what I care about.
What do you consider your flagship product to be? Like,
wow,
you're waiting for that.
So I mean, that's the thing. I don't have a. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I listen. First of all, I'm a bad trader. I'm a very bad trader. I'm a very, very, very bad trader. So I don't know what people really like, and I don't like to think for people. I don't know what they want. But what I do know is that there is a lot of cool application that doesn't exist anywhere else, like topology. So topology, for instance, is making a physics engine provable. So you can play like games, physical games, where with gravity and shock and like weapons and so on, directly on the blockchain. You have a team called Modulo Lab, we implemented like an AI model on the blockchain, a trading algorithm, autonomous trading algorithm that makes decision by itself using reinforcement learning. That's called Modulo Lab.
Interesting.
And we have people. We have Brick that I love very much. We have Zigzag who's doing spot trading. We have zk-X who's.
That was the next question. What are ready-to-use products already functioning on StarkNet?
So there is Jedi Swap. Zigzag is launching soon, I assume. There are
zk-Land.
zk-Land. In the gaming front, Acar is building. Brick is active and working. Pixel, Starksheet, MinSquare, Aspect,
zk-X, perpetual trading platform.
zk-X, exactly. So there are quite a few already, but they are mostly gonna grow soon. Like we are still early, and a lot of them is gonna get phenomenal traction in the coming.
Could you please tell our community which project on StarkNet you find the most promising? What shall we pay attention to?
No, I can't say the most promising.
Maybe participate in some testnet or.
Okay, so there are a couple of testnet that just launched. Influence, which is a game, just launched their testnet yesterday. In the testnet front, I love Seal, I love Break. I think they're very cool. Topology just launched Isaac, which is like this game that you need to have it's token gated. So you need to, I don't know actually how you get access. You can also try out MinSquare. You can try Aspect. You should try
Right.
Stark Sheets, and that I think that's our AK also.
I think that in all projects you name, there will be
a link,
100 people more after our video released on YouTube.
I would send you the link.
Okay.
Awesome.
Great.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks for your answer. I think that we can finish on that.
Yes.
I asked you
Perfect.
all questions we want.
Listen, I think what's very interesting. I mean, I like the question. They're very cool. The conversation. You're a very nice guy to talk to. So yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you. Okay, Louis, thank you for coming. That was a great interview. I enjoyed. Thanks for answering our question. I think that our community will appreciate you, and we will make some more videos regarding career or something. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. It was very fun talking to you, and looking forward to make more videos and other events and so on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.